Now, for you guys at home, have you heard? Do you hear that music?
Oh, the music is back. Oh, my gosh.
It's back because there is a vice presidential debate right here on CBS. When is it, Tony?
Tonight, 8 p.m. on
That's
CBS.
right.
Wherever you're watching us now, you can also watch the debate.
That's right.
That's the takeaway, yeah.
So CBS News polling is fresh out, and it shows that voter enthusiasm about Tim Walz and J.D. Vance is really interesting. Take a look at these numbers. Democrats are more excited about Walz than Republicans are about Vance by about a 15% spread there. And then look at this. Why are you at home watching? Here's what you guys said to those pollsters. Most of you say that you still want to learn something about the candidates, but check this out. 6 out of 10 are watching because they want to see the other side to see whether or not they make mistakes.
Those people are the most honest poll takers around, right? I mean, they're just like, I already made up my mind. I just want to see the other guy mess up.
Yes, they're coming for the car crashes.
Yeah, they're coming for the car crashes. By the way, it's great that people are suggesting that they're excited about tonight's debate. They're enthusiastic. They think there's something to learn.
I am.
By the way, on that note, I got something to lay out for people. Tonight's VP debate, this will only take a second.
Please, Tony.
Stick with me. A lot of people think that the vice president is the spare tire of government. It's a running joke, a human appendix, if you will, the least important person in all of Washington. But lots of people are wrong. VPs actually matter a whole heck of a lot. I mean, wouldn't you say it mattered that Lyndon Johnson was VP because he was the one who then continued the civil rights work of JFK? And didn't it, of course, matter that Andrew Johnson did not do the same for Abraham Lincoln a whole century earlier? And of course, you would agree it mattered that when FDR died, it was Harry Truman who then took control of the world's first atomic arsenal, and he was the guy who decided to use it. And vice presidents, by the way, they matter even when they don't go on to become president. See, for example, Dick Cheney includes the war in Iraq in his legacy, and Mike Pence, who certified the Electoral College count, even as a mob outside threatened to hang him. So if our polling is actually right on this, and people are more interested in the debate, and these presidential candidates overall, that's new and that's welcome. That is a break from history. All those people who are not caring, all those people are wrong. Adriana, it's progress.
Is it, Tony? It's
I
progress?
believe it.
Well, we have someone who is very well credentialed to help us understand how important this all is. Ambassador Susan Rice joins us, former ambassador to the UN, representing the United States. And in addition to that, of course, was National Security Advisor. Ambassador, thank you so much for being here with us.
Great to be with you this morning.
So, Ambassador, you served under President Obama and then Vice President Biden. But Tony just laid out the fact that polls show that the VP pick doesn't really change the way Americans vote. You've been in the room where it happens. How influential, how important is this vice president, and how critical is the pick?
Well, I think it's very important. I've served under 3 presidents, President Clinton, President Obama, and President Biden, and I've seen vice presidents in all of those contexts. And it's important for 2 reasons. As Tony pointed out, first of all, you're one heartbeat away from the presidency. And in this context, when the Republican nominee is a 78-year-old man who clearly is beginning to show some signs of diminishing mental acuity and perhaps physical as well, the person who is the vice president has to be ready to step in. And in J.D. Vance, we have somebody that we'll look at carefully tonight, but who has already espoused some quite radical and extreme positions and has really been a poster boy for Project 2025. Vice presidency also matters, though, because that person is in the room where the decisions are taken and has an influential voice. And when you have somebody whose perspectives and policies are out of the mainstream, touting a vision and a perspective, as we've seen in Project 2025, that would roll back basic freedoms for Americans, particularly for women, which would give the president, extreme powers outside of what is bound by the rule of law, to take action against perceived political enemies, and a Supreme Court that says the president is immune from prosecution. It really matters who's in that number 2 seat, because that person influences policy and also could be the next president in Part B.
Well, Madam Ambassador, let's talk about the guy who's in that slot for the Democrats, Tim Walz. Because of the unusual nature of this election cycle and the shortened campaign, a lot of folks had not heard of him. And our polling Only 30% of respondents, Democrats, said they were satisfied with him. Dissatisfied is only 5%. It seems like most people just don't really know enough about him yet to be really happy or really not. What does he need to do to show who he is to the American people and help Democrats win this thing?
Well, this is a great opportunity for Governor Walz really to be seen by millions and millions of Americans. It is true that he's not as well known as he might be. And I believe that when Americans get to see him and get to know him, they're going to like him very much. He's a former high school teacher and a football coach. He won in a Republican district, a rural district representing farmers in Minnesota, and held that seat through the Tea Party revolution and when Donald Trump was elected president. And in that seat, he was very moderate. He governed from the center. He forged compromise with Republicans. He expanded the GI Bill, gave mental health benefits to veterans. And he is a real down-to-earth Midwestern guy. He talks about fixing cars and helping people out of ditches. That's who he is. And he will be a really effective governing partner for Vice President Harris when she is president. So I think Americans will very like him a lot.
Let's see how effective he'll be tonight, Madam Ambassador. This is all happening under the backdrop of Israel. Israel is conducting what they call a limited localized ground offensive in Lebanon. Is that just a euphemism for an invasion?
It is indeed a ground operation and an invasion. The question is how expansive it will be. And will it remain limited as has been foretold? That was also the language that we heard at different stages during the ground operation in Gaza. So I think it very much remains to be seen.
Ambassador Rice, thank you very much.